Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Season 3 of the BPL. I am quite excited for this upcoming match. This is Modulo versus XFactorLive. These are two incredibly strong players. I mean, they are in the round of 16, so I think anyone in this round is strong, but I'm excited to see these two players face off. I am Volshock, and I am lucky enough to be joined by Zateo. Zateo, how are you doing today? How do you feel about this matchup?
I'm doing good. I don't know. I'm excited to see this matchup. I'm, both are really strong players, but Modulo has been playing a lot more recently than I think X Factor has, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, X Factor got second in the Alpha Cup, and he was looking really strong. So I'm excited to see how it plays out. If you guys are not familiar, Group B is 4 players. So Modulo, X Factor, Teddy, and Contra, and we are in round 1, which you can see right here. So round 1 is going to be Modulo versus X Factor, and this is going to be a best of 3. And for picks and bans, they're basically there's 9 maps total, right? And so they'll ban out the pool. So I am excited to see kind of how these players decide what they want to ban and where they want to go. So it looks like we're gonna start off with a shallow straights ban, which
Pretty typical.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone, I think all the viewers love to play on it, but players don't like to play on it. So that's just kind of, I don't know. I think that's just kind of how it goes. It's one of those maps that we don't get to see a lot of. I think it was picked 4 times. And then Theta, which is kind of an interesting second ban. How do you like Theta as a map, Zateo?
Personally, I'm not as comfortable on it. I think it kind of lends itself to more technical plays, and that's not necessarily where I shine. So I'm not big on it myself.
Yeah, fair enough. And Modulo, because he is player 1, he does get first pick, which means that we are going to Ciralata, which is, I think it's a map that a lot of players are pretty big fans of. They, I think it's the 2nd or 3rd most picked map behind Canis. I think it's Canis, Ciralata, and then Feast of Hades. So yeah, I'm excited to see kind of how this goes. We'll see how the draft picks up after that, but players are starting and I hear them dropping in. So I'm going to stop talking and we're going to start watching. All right. So it looks like we've got X Factor down here. And as opposed to the normal kind of cross spawn that we see a lot of times, there's actually the close spawn, which I think is a little bit more rare. And X Factor in the blue is Core. He has not dropped his lab yet. Modulo is Arm. All right, Zateo, talk to me. Yeah, talk to me about this Arm versus Core matchup on Ciralata.
Well, I've definitely seen a lot more Arm bots lately, and I would consider this a good bot opener type map. So it's kind of interesting because it used to be where grunts all the time would just dominate pawns, but now that pawns can actually catch up to grunts, it's a little bit better. And also with grunts being a little bit slower, ticks can run around the map a little bit more freely. But I think it's a good choice.
Yeah, so I think Modulo listens to you. He's like, all right, here we go. We're going Arm bots, which is kind of interesting. But X Factor, true to the X Factor build, we got vehicles, and it looks like he is going 2 cons, followed by rovers and a lot of incisors, which is kind of interesting. Whereas Modulo is going to go con with a combination of ticks and pawns.
Yeah, I find it pretty interesting that he's like straight up opening constructor, knowing that there's a potential for ticks. But we'll see if those ticks are able to do any damage back here.
That is a little risky. It's also unfortunate for X Factor. Modulo is going to scout this right away. He sees the rascal, so he knows that X Factor is core vehicles, and I think he might know the spawn location, right? Because his tick just got there, so he knows it's a close spawn.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize that it was scouts right after. Yeah, the timing lines up pretty well actually for, like, it comes out right as the scout potentially gets there, I guess.
And it looks like X Factor is gonna take his bottom expansion first. He's got his own rascals on the map coming out. And then Modulo is going to take his left expansion first. He's got the mexes queued up, followed by double LLT, which is a little bit more protection than usual. And Modulo coming in. What can he see here?
Well, yeah, so he sees that going on. He gets picked off, but at least he knows, you know, exactly where X Factor is in terms of expansion.
Yeah, and X Factor saw these rating ticks on his radar, so he's going to have an incisor down. I think he'll be able to stop them, but he is kind of trapped on this side of the map so far, and he's going to calm walk early to start taking these northern mexes. He does have a con turret in base though. Oh, these ticks get in. What?
They just sneak right on by. Yeah, that's gonna be some damage for sure.
He gets the one mech. He gets both mechs actually, and oh, there is a con here. All right, so the con can replace it relatively early, and another tick comes in and gets a third mex.
Yeah, meanwhile, on the other side of the map, X Factor has a few rascals over there for himself. Unfortunately, not moving in to harass those constructors and mexes, though. I think they're about to get picked off here.
Yeah, it looks like the ticks pick off that one, and then the rascal that's on the side over here is going to have to retreat. He is unable to do quite as much damage.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. He wasn't able to, you know, micro both sides of it. He was just so worried about his base.
Yeah, and despite all of it, energy production is relatively similar, but that bot open has given Modulo a slight metal increase. So he's 21 to 17 metal a second. He's expanded to kind of both of these recent expansions. There's a little bit of a battle on mid. How do you feel about taking the middle versus like pushing straight up? Because the middle does have got a little bit of a battle in mid. Let me come back to that question.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, I think
they are going to chase, or maybe not.
I thought he was going to chase too, but I think they're going to try to abuse terrain a little bit. But these incisors are going in. Do they want to?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the pawn is actually faster than the incisor after the update, so they can actually just like run away like perfectly fine.
These incisors are going to come in and try to commit though, although there's an LLT and a second LLT that's coming up, so I don't think I think X Factor wants to, he knows there's at least one LLT. He's gonna come back in. He does have what, 6 incisors and 1 rascal.
Yeah, I mean those incisors can definitely do some damage, but not near those LLTs with those pawns.
Little bit of
like he just can't go into the LLTs.
Yeah, a little bit of posturing from both, but I think X Factor is just going to look at this and say, hey, I don't think I want to be here. And Modulo does a vehicle swap pretty early. But back to the original question, do you think it's better to push directly towards the opponent in this matchup? Or do you think it's better to try to take mid and then hold it just for the resources?
Well, so usually a commander will go towards mid, or at least that's like the common play to get those big mexes. And then you're raiding on the sides because, you know, like the commander can kind of hold his own for a little while in the middle or wherever he's going to be, right? So it just kind of like allows you to kind of do an assault on multiple angles.
Got a little bit of a skirmish right here. This LLT is up, but there are a lot of incisors coming in, 10 incisors, and they're going to overwhelm that LLT and all the pawns here. They are giving chase. They get quite a bit done here, and they're going to run through. These are unprotected mexes, so Modulo needs to be real careful with how he responds. He does have stouts out, but there might be too many incisors. They're getting flanking damage. They're taking the first stout down. Can they get
the T-gun's good.
Yeah, Modulo's on point. He's like, yep, nope, goodbye.
Yep.
Worth, not
That's
worth?
kind of a weird time to transition into medium tanks. I would have thought he would have gone for blitzes to begin with, just to have like some more units on the field before moving into like bulkier units.
And Modulo does pick off this constructor kind of a little bit towards the bottom. He has a massive pawn ball that's coming in, and X Factor is reinforcing with incisors, but Modulo, he's gonna back off. Oh, this bottom one's an exploiter. I didn't realize that. So
yeah,
he does kill the con, which I think is worth it because he slows down that expansion, right?
Yeah, I mean if he can get over, well, I mean he can. I don't know if he knows about it though.
Oh yes, I meant the one up there. I don't think he knows about the second one, but he did get the one that's right here. And so I think maybe that's worth it.
Sorry,
because he didn't get the other one.
Actually, he might see this one now. Nope. Okay.
Oh, close. But at the same point, this looks like a little stout pawn battle against these incisors here. I've been seeing this a lot more with a lot of the ARM players where they kind of favor the tankability of the stout, but then they have pawns backing it up just because pawn DPS, if they're able to actually get it off, is just absurd.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, it's nice to move into a bulkier unit because it gives you a nice big like frontal attack potential. But yeah, having the pawns behind them to do some extra DPS is very nice.
I think XFactor baited these stouts in a little bit. He let him come up and kill a Mex and an LLT, but now he's going to surround with incisors. He's killed 3 stouts so far. He gets a 4. He gets a 4th. He does
Here comes the pawns.
Yeah. Oh god.
Now it gets a little tricky. I mean, brutes are a little bit stronger than stouts, so I mean, that's no, he's going to get picked off a little bit here. All right, so now moving forward.
Yeah, I think this favors XFactor though, right? This is a little bit closer to his base. Oh, I take that back. Modulo's commander.
His commander's here. Okay, well that changes everything. I mean, you would be right, but yeah. We'll see if he just like sucks that up or if he's gonna try to put down some towers.
Yeah, and XFactor is gonna walk his own comm there. So actually both comms are pretty close and there's an army there. So I think they both need to be pretty careful. Aside from that, it feels like XFactor is in the lead in terms of wind. He's definitely just has more energy economy. And in terms of metal, I think it's still relatively similar. Well, XFactor's comm is...
Yeah, pretty similar. I mean, I think XFactor would be ahead if he grabbed those mexes there again.
Stouts coming in. They get a couple incisors.
Yeah, some really nice micro here from Modulo. It's like picking off a single unit here and there, backing off, like not overly committing, but still getting some value.
And he's chipping away at XFactor's comm a little bit, but he's staying out at D-gun range, which is nice. And this is just medium tank versus medium tank, but I'm pretty sure Modulo just has more units, right?
Yeah, well, after that micro, he certainly does.
He's gonna back off though, and that's like 860 metal on the ground just for XFactor, unless he's gonna come back and contest it. Oh, I think he sees it and he's like, oh wait, we can't leave that much metal. Oh, XFactor! He gets 1 D-gun. Well, this is actually kind of tense now. I feel like, well, XFactor can eat this, and I don't know if can the stouts actually push him off this?
I mean, they can outrange it, but he's got to be really careful. D-gun OP.
Yeah, XFactor's eating the vast majority of this, so actually he's going to be able to sneak it off. There's a little pawn that's coming in here that's sniping off mexes. He gets 2 mexes. Okay.
Yeah, there's actually some pawns in the back that could potentially be doing damage, but I think Modulo is too busy looking up here at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, this is for all the marbles, right? Both commanders are here. You can win or lose real easily if you're not paying attention. And there are a lot of reinforcing pawns. XFactor needs to pull his commander back. He's starting to run, but I think he's completely overwhelmed here, right?
Yeah, and the pawns are coming in from the back as well. I think that he's going to go for the kill here.
Yeah, I mean, 18%, 16. He's this... Oh, good D-gun. 10...
Oh, he's not prioritizing the commander. I guess the commander might live.
He gets out. Oh my god, that is incredibly close. 6% health, 250, and he is backing off, but I think Modulo smells blood. He is still just flooding units in and running at XFactor, and pawns are going to clean up these on the side. Stouts are still pushing in, and he has resbots behind, rezzing up that entire wreck field. XFactor...
Yeah, the army value definitely favoring Modulo at this point.
Oh yeah, that is...
And just like where his units are stationed, I don't know what XFactor can do to get back into this game at this point.
And Modulo is gonna sneak around, and oh no, these pawns are queued all the way in back here where that wind is.
Right where the wind is.
XFactor does have a nice little exploiter that pushes off a pawn raid to the side. But Modulo, he didn't see it now, but now he does, and he goes, oh, thank you for the free wind and the free mechs, and he sees the con here as well, so he should be able to get it all.
Yeah, a lot of good freebies there.
XFactor is going to try to push off a bit, but he sees the number of stouts and he's not sure. He does still have his bot lab. What do you think XFactor can do to get back in this game?
I mean, I think it's at the point of no return other than doing some like crazy Banshee all-in or something. Or like he can't even do Banshee all-in because he's core. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe bombers. He could bomb him to death, I suppose.
That's true. You could do the bomber swap. He is getting out some pounders, which is nice, but it looks like Modulo doesn't even want to contest that high ground. Oh, as soon as I say that, of course, he contests the high ground. So he's going to push up here, but some of the stouts on the side get stuck. He split his army voluntarily, and XFactor sees it, comes in and capitalizes a little bit on this, which is favorable for XFactor. And XFactor does have pounders coming out, and if there's one thing pounders do, it's equalize blobs.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, once you have some medium tanks up, if you're defending and you don't need to get places, pounders are a great choice to just like add some DPS from the back.
And here's this engagement. Pounders are here. Modulo commits in. He's lost the stout. Oh, they are
grouping
so
up
grouped.
too.
Oh no, these pounders are putting in work. But there might just be too many stouts. He loses what, 4 brutes? He's gonna have to back off a bit, but these pounders are still shooting, and XFactor is still just mass producing them. We see lots of cons and stouts getting produced, and he went back to brutes for XFactor, but XFactor's just getting completely overwhelmed here. This army value is double what it used to be, and XFactor needs to get really good D-guns or he needs to snipe a comm. This wreck field is on his side though, and pounders are protecting it. Maybe he can res it?
Yeah, the res field can go to him in this situation because of the pounders. And he, you know, he healed up his commanders, so like he doesn't have to worry about that anymore either. Yeah,
I mean, he's got 8 res bots and they are picking everything up, but Modulo's stouts are still just slowly chipping away from range. And he's trying to get these pounders up to hit and do damage where possible, but oh, this could be a beautiful flank if he gets it. He's gonna push in. Pounders are still doing quite a bit of work here. And he's rezzing all the tanks behind this, so despite being so far behind, I think he's kind of recovering.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. I mean, res bots are definitely getting to work.
But this army value is just absolutely brutal.
I mean, there's a lot of like not so healthy tanks, right? So I mean, he could be okay here.
XFactor's walking his comp towards Modulo. He gets a D-gun on the LLT, and he's able to D-gun a lot of these other stouts. Modulo's army kind of got split up here, and XFactor is rezzing a lot of these tanks behind, but his comm is a little bit lower. This is, for a game that Modulo was in the lead of, suddenly this is a little bit more tenuous.
Yeah. Yeah, XFactor's doing a great job. By the way, Modulo does have some tanks in the back picking off a couple of mexes.
Oh yeah, he cleaned up all these expansions.
He's getting more and more ahead with that.
I think XFactor might be okay with this as long as he can control this wreck field, right? And wait, Modulo's commander is completely alone on the wrong side of the map. And I mean, XFactor knows this, he's walking at it, but his comm's also pretty low. I mean, his comm's what, 36%? Does he want
I'm not sure if pawns are going to do so well against those pounders.
Yeah, there's a lot of pounders. And this comm isn't trapped, but it can kind of abuse the bot move def to go down, I think. Oh, that comm is completely trapped.
Yeah, it's trapped.
He's gonna, he gets a few D-guns.
Oh, interesting anti-air there.
Yeah. Just expect, probably for the transport, right? If there's a transport play, he doesn't want him to be able to pick it off. Yeah, Modulo is in. Modulo, he is trapped, and he's got reinforcing stouts coming in, and he's massing a blob of pawns, maybe to run in and just see if he can snipe XFactor. He's kind of put himself in a precarious situation here.
This is so dangerous.
Well, I feel like XFactor should just dive on him, right? I mean, why even try to fight the other army when? Oh no! This LLT is shooting him, and Modulo doesn't realize. Modulo.
Oh boy! Oh no! Oh no!
All right, pawns commit in, but there's a lot of pounders here, and stouts are committing in with it. XFactor is low. Modulo is lower.
This is gonna be harsh.
What do we got? I mean,
yeah. Well, the army value is certainly taking a turn.
Yeah,
it definitely favors XFactor now.
XFactor has just a massive army of res bots behind that are rezzing everything, and he's starting to push up towards Modulo's commander. Modulo has no reinforcing units. He's got 2 LLTs and a dream, and I don't know if that dream is going to survive this.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, Modulo or XFactor can definitely dive that commander.
Right, yeah, he's just gonna commit here, right? So this is actually great play from XFactor. Modulo is trapped, and he's 400 HP. He's down. That is it.
Yep, not enough dancing.
Whew. Yeah, I mean, I think X Factor just had incredible control of that wreck field. And despite the fact that he kind of was out ecoed on a lot of the map, he still somehow did, honestly, an amazing job just kind of pulling back from that game. How'd you feel about it?
I think that game really just highlighted how powerful res bots are. And like, you know, like where the wrecks lie is a huge deal. You know, like it was like right next to his base. You know, Modulo had some res bots out of his own, but he couldn't really put units on it because X Factor was there keeping him off of it, and he just like had some good micro to like push that back.
Yeah,
did a great job of it.
That is awesome. So I'm excited. We are going to go to a game 2, and we will see you there momentarily. Don't go anywhere.